This is a follow-up to my last video. I went from automatic to manual. And so I'm either in automatic or manual. And I'm copying C101 to 106 to Y01, Y1 to Y6. Now this little symbol up here means it's a one shot. So anytime this becomes true, this will only be true for one scan. So it's only going to copy for one scan, and then what's in the automatic subroutine will take over. And what I've got in the automatic subroutine is lights. My lights just go based on a timer. And then if I'm off, C1 is off, I go to a manual subroutine, which I call, and I'm writing off all my outputs. So anything that gets left on in automatic will get written off the very first scan that I go to manual. And then the manual program will then dictate the outputs. And then when I come out of manual, go back to automatic, I'll write any outputs that are on back to the off. This is the format that seems to work the best. Now, in my automatic, I've just got a timer, and basically I turn on a different light every second. Now this timer does not reset when I leave the subroutine, so it will maintain its value even though it is a non-retentive timer, because the logic's not true. Or these rungs aren't being scanned. That's one of the differences with a subroutine. The rungs aren't being scanned, so this won't necessarily be set. So whatever light is on will come immediately back on, and it'll pick up where it left off in the automatic. If you want the timer to go back to 0, then you could copy a 0 to TD1 in your routine. So we'll try that. In the manual, it's what I had in the last video, where I'm choosing 3 things, and then I am unpacking from a number to C21 through C26. And then I write C21 to C26 if I have selected something. If I don't select anything, it won't write anything. So that would be good. So let's go back to the main. And what I want to do in the manual is I want to write a 0 to my timer. So I'm going to control arrow down, and I'm going to copy. And I think it can be a single copy. And I think I want a DS. And I'm using DS 1, 2, 3, 4, so I need to pick something I'm not using. Well, maybe not that far up. So many. So DS 10, and then my destination, I want to go to TD1. TD1. Whoops, TD1, DS10. Okay, I want to make this a one shot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and set DS10 to a 0. So anytime I go to the manual, I come out of automatic, I'm going to set that timer back to 0, and we'll see if it works. But I'm only going to do it once. So let's see what happens. Okay, so now download, and okay, it was DS10, right? Yeah, DS10. So I'm gonna go to data view, and I'm gonna add DS10, cancel. DS10, enter. And I'm a 0, so I'm good. I am good. Okay, so now what I've got is I've got it in manual. So that's been called. So now I want to go back to automatic. And to go back to automatic, I got to turn C1 on. So now I'm clicking through all my values. C1's off. I go back to manual. And you see that my timer gets reset back to 0. So my light chase will always start at the same point. Very good, very good. And all these are off. C2, well, I got C3 on. So let's turn them off. Let's turn him off. There you go. And now let's change it. So I'm going there. And then when I go back to my manual, it's writing everything off. And since nothing is selected, nothing comes on new. So that's a very good program. Now that gets us into one-shots. One-shots, by definition, only happen one time. So once this rung becomes true, this happens one time. One scan. The next scan through, if this is still true, these two instructions will not happen. That's the key to a one-shot. So I've got automatic and I've got my manual. And then there's my automatic run. I was thinking about making all these 6,000s. So my lights will come on and progressively stay on. But I didn't do that. And there's my manual. I'm just going to write numbers that will ultimately turn on all my lights. C4 should turn them all on, and I think it does. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you, and I want to clean up that. So